JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Senton policeman knocked off motorcycle by car, seriously injured. A police constable attached to the Ocho police station narrowly escaped death early Friday morning after being hit from his service motorcycle in Ocho, St. Anne. It's reported that at about 7:30 a.m., the constable was on traffic duties, was driving his motorcycle westerly along the Costa Drive in the vicinity of the Ocho District Center when the driver of a Toyota Probox motorcar drove from the left of the road and made a U-turn across the path of the cop, resulting in a collision with the service motorcycle. The policeman was thrown from the motorcycle. He received serious injuries and was taken to the Sentons Bay Regional Hospital, where he's being treated for a broken left arm, lacerations to his face and right foot. His condition is not considered life-threatening. The driver of the motorcar was taken into custody and has since been warned for prosecution. TikToker 41 busted gunned down in Montego Bay. The St. James police are investigating the death of a social media personality who was shot and killed by unknown assailants on Friday night in Montego Bay. 23-year-old Marlon Samuels, also known as 41 Busted, of a Rosehights address, was shot around 10 p.m. on North Lane in the Western City. The attackers reportedly fled the scene. The Montego Bay CIB is currently investigating the incident. Samuels had gained popularity on social media platforms TikTok and Instagram. Reports indicate that he was killed shortly after doing a live feed on Instagram. Further reports suggest that he would have celebrated his birthday on Saturday. His death comes just days after fellow social media personality Xavier Foga, otherwise called Naya Gang, was shot and killed on December 7 during a live TikTok session in St. Catherine. Child killer Kyoto Satchel sentenced to life in prison. Kyoto Satchel, the woman who confessed to killing 8-year-old Daniel Rowe last June, has been sentenced to life imprisonment for the murder. Satchel is to serve 27 years and 4 months before she is eligible for parole. She was also sentenced to 6 years and 3 months for child stealing. Sheer evil is all Justice Caroline Ty Powell described the ordeal Daniel Rowe experienced on June 8, 2023. Addressing Satchel, Justice Ty Powell lamented that to kill a defenseless human being is vile, but to kill an innocent 8-year-old child can only be regarded as evil. The judge explained to Satchel that only a term of life imprisonment is appropriate for the reprehensible, wicked, callous, heinous act she had done. Justice Ty Powell pointed out that Satchel's actions have resulted in a mother burying her child, which is unnatural in the ordinary scheme of life. Earlier in the proceedings, Justice Ty Powell made it clear that Satchel's submission that she killed Daniel because she allegedly contracted HIV from the child's father, which resulted in the loss of her pregnancy, is not a mitigating factor. Balancing the aggravating factors, the judge pointed out that Daniel was unarmed, defenseless, helpless, and vulnerable. The judge said the fact that the child was taken from her school, a place where she ought to feel safe, speaks to Satchel's brazenness. Highlighting the nature of the killing, Justice Ty Powell pointed out that Satchel had Daniel in her company for close to 2 hours before slitting her throat with a knife. The judge found that there was a significant level of premeditation. The court was told that Satchel confessed to killing Daniel on her expected due date. Another aggravating factor was the impact on Daniel's family. In the meantime, Daniel's mother, Sudine Mason, having heard Friday that Satchel killed her daughter on her expected due date, withdrew her forgiveness. At first, me feel sorry for her because me said Daniel's father was the reason why she did what she did, even though it was wrong. Him give her a sickness that she had to live with for the rest of her life. So me feel sorry for her at the time when she tell me sorry. But hearing what I hear just now, I have changed my mind, said the grieving mother. While Macy is pleased with the sentence, she also reminisced on Christmas with Daniel, recalling how she would usually hide gifts around the house for her daughter. Now, the mother bemoaned that Christmas will be difficult without her child. Motorcyclist dies in Manchester crash. A motorcyclist died from injuries sustained in a crash on the St. Toulis Road in Manchester early Saturday morning. The deceased has been identified as 44-year-old Kevin Douglas, otherwise called Gully, a construction worker of Scots Pass, Clarendon. According to the police, around 1:45 a.m., Douglas was riding his blue Zamoko motorcycle on the St. Toulis Road near the Manchester-Clarendon border when he lost control, fell, and struck his head on the pavement. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police shut down illegal slaughterhouse in Central Village. The St. Catherine North Police on Friday shut down what is believed to be a major illegal slaughterhouse in Big Lane, Central Village. Acting Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips, head of the Area 5 Police, said the illegal slaughterhouse was discovered near a dump site. The carcasses of several goats were seized on the scene during the police operation. Several people were taken into custody. Several illegal meat stamps were also seized in the operation. It is believed that the meat was from stolen animals and was being sold to consumers across several parishes.
Christopher Phillips, the SSP in charge of Area 5, and I'm here with acting SSP Nicholson in charge of St. Catherine North, and some other members of the team from St. Catherine South also. We're here in the Big Lane area of Central Village, a cross-border anti-predatory license operation with the team here, where they basically uncovered a illegal slaughterhouse being operated in what I can only describe as a dump. Over 40 carcasses, 8 persons taken into custody, including a female. Now, this is absolutely terrible. The sight of it is unbearable. It's just unimaginable what we have uncovered here. And so we have kickstart a very aggressive type of investigation. We have called in all the other agencies, the public health, and all the other supporting agencies to provide further assistance with this investigation. One thing that is interesting is that these men are from all parts of Jamaica. We have persons here from St. Andrew South Division, St. Thomas, and in other parts of Kingston and within St. Catherine. It is just registering very forcefully, you know, what I've been saying over a period of time, that St. Catherine has become the epicenter for criminality in Jamaica, and it is something that we're going to be treating in a very decisive way, and we're going to kickstart, as I said, a very aggressive investigation into this one. I'll allow SSP Nicholson to speak further, you know, on what else was observed, and just to provide the public with some reassurance and the way forward in terms of how they conduct business for the festive season.
Well, thank you. We also recovered some stamps, some fraudulent public health inspector stamps, and we continue to appeal to consumers, especially persons who operate meat shops and persons who consume large amounts of meat and fresh produce, to ensure that you purchase from reputable sources. Now today we see the unsanitary conditions in which these carcasses were dealt with, and the public health inspectors have condemned it, and all the carcasses will be burnt. The persons will be taken in, and they will be charged for breaches of the Public Health Act and also the Larceny Act as best as possible. We want persons to be vigilant, because whatever you consume this season and beyond, we want it to be safe. So be alert. If you have doubts, come and ask the police. The police will investigate and advise you accordingly.
And then, you know, some of the animals, you know, observe, the goats observe that, you know, they have the registration tag on them.
Yes, we're going to be tracking all these. We have persons from the Predatory Prevention unit in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. They are on way, and they will assist us in trying to track these animals to see where they were stolen from. We believe that all 40 of them or more are believed to be stolen.
And then, you know, what will be, you know, the outcome of the remaining, you know, animals, you know, the live ones?
Well, the Predatory Prevention unit will come, and they will seize them and take them to a place until the proper, the rightful owners are identified.
Businessman charged for breaches of the Larceny, Securities and Proceeds of Crime laws, Jason Kamika, a 53-year-old businessman, has been arrested and charged for breaches of the Larceny, Securities and Proceeds of Crime laws. The charges stem from a 2022 report by an elderly United Kingdom citizen who alleged that Kamika solicited more than £50,000 with promises of lucrative weekly returns on an investment. It is alleged that to date, Kamika has neither delivered on his promise nor refunded the complainant. Following an intensive investigation, Kamika, who was listed as a person of interest, was apprehended by the Trelawney police. Arising from this case, potential investors are being urged to verify the legitimacy of investment opportunities before committing funds, following the arrest of a Westmoreland businessman for running an illicit scheme. The FID says it has received several recent reports highlighting fraudulent schemes involving foreign exchange and cryptocurrency investments, often initiated through social media platforms. The FID is urging the public to remain vigilant when considering investment opportunities, particularly during the holiday season when fraud schemes increase significantly. Accused gangster lost in prison. A bench warrant has been issued by Supreme Court Judge Justice Satan Pusey to speed up the search for accused St. Catherine gangster Philip Scott, following a revelation by his attorney that his client, who is behind bars, cannot be found. A crestfallen New Thompson was stated to make a bail application for Scott in the Home Circuit Court Division of the Supreme Court in downtown Kingston on Thursday morning in appearing empty-handed, told Justice Pusey, "It's alarming that I don't know where the prisoner is." He further expressed trepidation at the thought of facing the relatives of the accused man with that detail. "I don't know if I can face my client's relatives," Thompson told the court, noting that the relatives would need answers regarding the bail procedure. "I respect the justice system, but for me to tell my clients that I don't know, the court doesn't know where he is, that's not something I want to do," Thompson said Thursday. Justice Pusey, noting that the court could not be blamed, said while the police have their flaws and have been flayed for dropping the ball on occasion, it was a question of being under-resourced. The court knowing is not very important. The police knowing will be very helpful. But I've said very frankly here, and the police would know, when they do foolishness I cost them. However, one has to understand that what you're talking about are resources. Think about it. If you think about where the police stations, for example here in Western Kingston, those police stations are the same police stations from when I went to primary school in Denham Town. The same police station is there from when I was in primary school, when half of the people in this room were not born, Justice Pusey noted. The population of Spanish Town and its environs, he said, has tripled since he worked there as a clerk of court in 1998. And you had one Dege police station that they had in those days. Since then, and the number of officers not significantly increased. When it comes to police, the fact is we don't give them the resources. If you want me to start on the resources we have in court, I could start on that also. It's the same thing, the senior jurist stated. The police ought to have a computerized system which says Philip Scott was at Old Harbour. If we're going to move him from Old Harbour to 100 man, someone needs to appear and want to find out where Philip Scott is. Once you put in Philip Scott and the date of birth, it will tell them where he is. So yes, it is distressing that they don't have things like that, but that's the resources that we give them, Justice Pusey added. He, in the meantime, told the attorney that it was unlikely the application would have succeeded, and if so, not before the new year. You can tell your client's family that even if you got to make a bail application, there would have been a very good chance that you would have spent the time in prison, and that's not a lie. Because based on what I see that he's charged with, a court in considering bail will have to take into consideration that the person is not necessarily the person who committed the offense, but with freedom may have access on other things that they can do to organize others and command others. So, therefore, he's part of a group, and if these people are crucial to the group and they're outside, even if they're not the ones carrying the guns and doing those kinds of things, they can cause mayhem, Justice Pusey stated. These are persons charged with these kinds of offense who, whilst they're in custody, are almost as active as persons who are outside. You can tell the clients that in any case, this was going to be a very difficult battle, and after Christmas, they may have a better opportunity with the passage of time rather than at this stage. I'm not making a decision. I have not looked at the file closely enough to do that. I'm merely saying to you that you can indicate to the family of the accused that based on the seriousness of the offense, the situation will be difficult, he said further. We don't have the accused. We don't know where he is. We're unlikely to get him tomorrow. And even if we get him tomorrow, in those circumstances, to get bail on those things, I don't know. The courts sometimes are reluctant to grant bail at this time of the year. Scott and another accused were in August last year charged by the St. Catherine South Police after being implicated in various crimes, including murder in Portmore. The men were charged after being named among a group of 7 as persons of interest by the police in connection to crimes in the Gregory Park area. According to the website of the Supreme Court, where a litigant has missed a court date, a bench warrant or warrant of disobedience of summons may be issued. The execution of these warrants may also be stayed and further stayed based on the particular circumstances. PM directs that there be no pause in Reach road work during Christmas. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has directed the National Works Agency, NWA, to ensure that the Reach Emergency Road Patching Program continues during the Christmas season. A release from the Office of the Prime Minister says the directive is in keeping the government's commitment to alleviating the challenges faced by motorists, enhancing road safety, and addressing the extensive damage caused by the prolonged rains earlier this year. As part of the emergency response, the government has allocated $2 billion Jamaican dollars to Reach. This initiative is designed to improve critical roadways across the island with a focus on heavily trafficked areas and sections most affected by weather-related damage. PM Holness says the work will not stop during the festive season as it is a priority initiative aimed at bringing immediate relief to motorists. Motorists are advised to exercise caution in locations where road repairs are being done and to expect short-term disruptions as schools work to complete the program. JBNN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.